Hey, what's up YouTube? Luso here, Team D Plus Gaming, here to talk about Battle Pack 2 today. Went to a sealed pack tourney and had some mixed reviews on it. A lot of people didn't like the format just because this is so slow. Like, this is kind of back to Format 1 Yu-Gi-Oh! Tributing monsters, and a lot of people weren't used to it, to say the least. They hadn't experienced that back when the game first came out, and they've been used to synchroing XYZing, special summoning out the wazoo, and they weren't used to this. I found it reminiscent, and it was kind of fun. Definitely something I'll keep doing when I have the opportunity to, especially now after kind of getting the first one under your belt. Now people are starting to understand how to play this sealed pack event, and so I want to kind of share with you how I built my deck, what I wished I would have done and wouldn't have done with it. And so, yeah, I guess just kind of start into it. With the deck, there was a minimum amount that we're playing today. You could have, the minimum amount was 20. Maximum you could have as many as you wanted, since we only opened 9 packs each. Then I played it at 35 because I wasn't really sure on how to balance it. So there's probably more cards in here, but I was able to go into game 3 with every person I faced. Usually won a fairly fast game 1, lost a long game 2, and lost an even longer game 3, it seemed. So, I mean, it wasn't the worst build out there by any means, but it wasn't quite enough to clinch the victory. I mean, it could also have something to do with pulls, so we'll see. Kind of the first thing with this sealed pack, any equip cards you get, those go into the deck. I put in Reptilian, Rage, and Axe of Despair, but I left out Rocket, Plot Pillar, and Big Bang Shot. Wished I would have had those in there, especially Piercing is amazing in these. There's a lot of defensive type things, so if your opponent puts on the defense position, if you can hit them for Piercing defense, that's huge, and that saves you a lot of hassle later on. It gets their life points down so much faster and makes the game really work. Also, again, damage step manipulation is huge. So I had Forbidden Chalice and Forbidden Dress in here. Chalice was more so just to take and, was in case you ran up against Slifer or Ra, take and activate Forbidden Chalice. That pretty much nerfs their entire attack. The other card, it worked really well against Injection Fairy Lily. Wait for your opponent to take and pay the life points for it, and then nerf it down to 800. Also, Injection Fairy Lily, everyone was saying how huge this was going to be going into the sealed pack tourney. But with as much damage step manipulation as there is, I mean, I think everybody except for me pulled Lance, but I pulled Dress and Chalice both. So I wasn't too upset with that. But I mean, like, everybody has something for damage step, it seems. And so Injection Fairy Lily was extremely risky. Every time I used its effect, they had something waiting for me and knocked it down by enough for them to attack over it. So, I don't know. Depending on, I guess, what people are pulling, that could be a good one, but I would recommend siding it, at the very least. I wouldn't main deck it. Other spells that were in here that I had Graceful Charity and Card Trader. Card Trader is amazing just because there's so little spell and trap destruction. Once you have it, you've got it there permanently. So that was really good. Graceful Charity, it's all about knowing how to use it and when to activate it. Photon Sanctuary, I was kind of up in the air with this one. I almost sided it, but I main decked it just for the simple fact that you can use it for a defensive wall. What it does, it gives you 2 tokens that can't be tributed except for a light monster, which I did happen to pull one of those, so Superconductor Tyranno. Was able to use that for him once, but beyond that, it's just a good defensive wall. It gives you 2 tokens, gives you a little bit of time for your something else your opponent has to get through first. And then the other spell I played was Earthquake. Puts everything on the field to defense position. Like I said, a lot of unbalanced stats in this, just like everything else, which was good. The other plus to that was I had a Drillroid. So activate Earthquake, summon Drillroid, and when he attacks on the defense position, it automatically destroys it before the damage step even gets there. So Earthquake plus Drillroid, amazing combo, completely broken, changes the game. Moving on to traps. The best traps in this game are things that summon tokens, or are trap monsters. I happen to pull 3 trap monsters, Tiki Soul, Embodiment of Orpheus, of Apophis, and Tiki Curse. I actually was able to pull both Tikis off in the same turn once, which then they get their effects, which is something that doesn't really happen. And the other thing I had was Golden Apples, and it gives you a token when you take battle damage and you don't control any monsters. So these all work for great special summons. You get those to the field and you can just tribute them off, or you can use them as defensive wall, or however you need to. So extremely versatile, kind of one of the better plays of this battle pack. Then other traps that I had, Breakthrough Skill. Like I said, great to pull, mediocre for the tournament today. Power Frame and Wabaku. Wabaku was great, just like if you were lucky enough to pull No Entry or Threatening Roar. Again, all really good cards. Keep your monsters on the field and let you tribute them off the following turn. Then the 2 other traps I pulled that I didn't put in there, Skill Successor and Dimension Gate. I definitely wish Skill Successor would have been in there, but Dimension Gate I'm not so sure. Moving on into the monsters, things that I wish I hadn't put in here. Toon Gemini Elf, only good if you drew it first turn and put it on the field early as a big beat stick. Beyond that, you have to summon it and then wait a turn before you can attack with it. So it wasn't really worth it. There's better cards. I would have even preferred something with 1800 that could attack immediately over that with 1900. And Zolga, it's got a great effect. The ability to take, if it's tributed off for a tribute summon, you get 2,000 life points, but with only 1700 attack, I didn't really have the opportunity to use the effect, and usually 2,000 life points wouldn't have been enough to save me. I cut the games close enough where it's down to like maybe 100 or so life points left when they came in for the final attack, and they were always attacking with like some big 3,000 beater or something. So, I mean, again, it wouldn't have changed a game had I been able to use it, and as it was, with 1,700 attack, wasn't able to use it, so those are just kind of mediocre. Then 2 Gemini monsters, Ancient Gear Knight, Evocator Chevalier. Have these in here just because they're beat sticks. Didn't really use their Gemini effects. Then kind of the better ones that I pulled for this. Dark Resonator, it was great, can't be destroyed by battle once per turn, and plus 1,300 attack. So if your opponent can't summon or didn't pull strong enough monsters, you can set him, and that he stalled for at least 20 turns for me today. Great card. Plague Spreader, I found him broken with Graceful Charity. Put him in the graveyard, save him for when you need a tribute. DD Assailant, you can't get over something, just banish it. Just attack into it, take the life point loss. Again, really good. So the other kind of broken combo I had, Dragon Ice and Sinister Serpent. Sinister Serpent with Graceful Charity is great. With Dragon Ice, it's even better. You get a special summon Dragon Ice by discarding a water. And Sinister Serpent just keeps coming back. Also, Sinister Serpent helps out a lot with stalling. Put it in the hand, shuffle your hand around. So they didn't necessarily know what you said. Sinister Serpent, especially when they only have one monster and they can't, or couldn't seem to find anything else to summon because their deck wasn't balanced the way it should have been. That helped a lot. Cheer on the Mage. I had him in here just because he is a decent beater, plus he's one of the few Spell and Trap Destruction cards in here. So that was great, was able to use that, was able to take out a Premature Burial with it, which was definitely nice and well-timed. I didn't draw pull a whole lot of tributable monsters, so I used Herald of Creation, discard a spell, bring back one of your 7 or higher monsters, so you can just summon it again. And then Koiku, just in case you did come across those people with their Premature Burials or Monster Reborn, which I don't think anybody pulled a Monster Reborn today. So, I mean, he probably could have been cited, but I had him mained and it was fine. It worked out well. Blizzard Dragon, another MVP. Even though it only has 1,800 attack, summon him, and then you can target one of your opponent's monsters, and that can't attack until their until their end phase. So that was a great stall tactic, especially when they powered up a low-level monster, and you were kind of waiting out something to get rid of their equip cards to it. Worked out really well, was able to stall off for a lot of turns with that one. Photon Thrasher, great card, 2100 special summon. Um, a lot of people had trouble getting over that, especially if you made that within the first turn or so. Then for my tribute monsters, Chaos Hunter, more of a special summon than a tributable one, but that was there. Frostosaur, just again because I didn't pull that many. And then Ancient Gear, Golem. That was kind of the MVP for me. When he attacks, your opponent can activate spell and trap cards, and he has Piercing, so that's kind of the best two effects right there. Then other monsters I didn't put in here. Bazoo, the Soul Eater, he would have been fine with me in this deck just because I didn't have anything to really resummon monsters from the graveyard. So benching a lot of the low-level monsters would have been fine for the attack boost. Truckroid, Winged Rhino, Little Wingard, although Wingard is, he's decent. And Mahavilo, especially with the fact that equip cards are so big with this, he is actually a really good one to get, especially if you have the equip cards to bring that out. And plus, if I were to do this again, I'd probably shrink the deck down to about 20-25 cards and call that good and go with low-level monsters, equip cards, and then trap cards. And, I mean, that, to me, would be about the best way to build it. Card cars weren't useful to people today, just because, even though there's a lot of them pulled, they took and that wasted a turn and set them back on trying to summon monsters, which was something you couldn't necessarily afford. I mean, it only helps you if you were already winning, was the thing. It kind of put the icing on the cake. So that's kind of my thought, and then at the end of the day, just to kind of round things out, I bought one more pack to put it up to 10. And so pulled another Dragon Ice, Mystical Beast, Cerberus, Splendid Venus, another tributed monster, which would have been nice. And then the other two that I pulled, Zoma the Spirit, Trap Monster, again, great. You can kind of see the Mosaic Rare, which is the new thing in the light there. And then Swords of Concealing Light, another really good card. Again, you activate this, your opponent really can't get around it, they just have to wait for it to expire. And so a lot of people were winning due to Swords of Concealing Light today. And so that was kind of my pulls on the day. So let me know what you think. Again, I'm looking for ideas still on what to build next. So yeah, please leave comments below. Otherwise, like and subscribe if you like what you see. And this is Luso, Team D Plus Gaming, signing out.